surrendered to the sea, like a drop of water that rose from the leaf. I surrendered to the sea, and your waves come rolling home, and your waves come rolling home.
I have felt so called to bring my own songs out from my heart, and that was one of my intentions for this dieta. I wanted my words to come through, and my experience and my medicine through songs. So Bobinsana gave me a song the very first day I drank her, and I would love to play that for you all. Every moment of my life I have a choice. Do I stand up for what's right and use my voice? Do I act out of love or fear? Do I go or do I just stay here? 'Cause I've been running all my life from who I truly am, and I'm sorry that I lost my way. Wow. I was not expecting this dieta to be easy, but I was also not expecting it to be as challenging as it was. I've been doing this medicine work for 3 years, clearing and peeling away so many layers and making it almost like my full-time job. Like, that's all I care about, and my actual job, that's to fund this work, because it's been everything, and it's brought me back to myself. I guess maybe I came in expecting, I don't even know what I was expecting. Bobinsana has been calling me for a couple years at least. The second she came into my awareness, I knew that I would work with her, and she was calling me. And so I'm grateful that this opportunity came so close to home. And my mantra as a child was, I hate myself. And that became true, because I said it so much to myself. So much shame and so much guilt. I always felt like I was in trouble. I always felt like I couldn't do anything right, and I was not good enough. So that turned me into a perfectionist. I finally came out of my shell in high school. I started to make friends, and I actually became popular, which was interesting to come from being a wallflower to like a popular person. With that came alcohol, and alcohol helped give me a false sense of bravado, and so prior to doing this work, I came in with a lot of wounds, and I remember sitting here the very first time I came, and I was the first person here, because I was just so anxious about, gotta come at exactly 5:00, and I was sitting out back having a smoke and not knowing what to do with my other hand, because that was like the drink hand. And I was like, I don't know how to function without, I don't know how to be confident without alcohol, and so I'm grateful I've healed a lot of that. I can go into any social situation now very, very comfortably, which I'm grateful for. And so I thought a lot of that stuff I came into this dieta thinking I was more healed than I actually was. There were parts of myself that, once the alcohol fell out of my life, which I'm grateful for, I never had to try to stop using it. I just didn't need it anymore because I found love for myself, and so I didn't need it anymore to escape. But I replaced that with other distractions, not as an unhealthy, but still distractions. Food, TV, marijuana, just anything. I didn't know what it was still covering up. So when I heard about the dieta and the protocol, I was nervous. I was like, oh, shit, like there's stuff under there. I know I'm still covering things up. There's still things I'm not looking at. So what's there? I guess I'm about to find out. And so obviously I came in with some expectations about the medicine. I've done a lot of research. I watched people's testimonials and their experiences with it, and I knew that she was heart medicine, and I know I have a lot of work to do in my heart, so I trusted and I came in to do that work. But I got so much more than that. So Bobinsana took me to my inner child. And even though I thought I've done so much work with her, she's good, there was still so much more work to be done. I wasn't expecting that. And I pretty much for the entire dieta was her, which was really healing. I guess I in my daily life, I don't acknowledge her. It's like I know she's there, but I'm like, yeah, she's fine. I don't have to look at that all the time, but I'm grateful I had the space for her because she needed that. She was still very wounded. She was still carrying a lot, and actually her heart needed to be healed. So that's where my work was this entire time. And it was magical. It was nothing short of just pure magic. It's funny when you get rid of all the distractions and you're left with yourself. and nature. You notice everything. Like everything. All these things I would have missed if I had my head buried in my friggin' cell phone. So I'm grateful that I had that space to see the magic all around us, because it's happening all the time, and if you're not paying attention, you will miss it. Just to be in my inner child again, and to feel her, and to just go for walks and like find little bugs and be like, oh hi, and like talking to them and like, hi porcupine, and like just walking around in this like wonder, this state of like curiosity and that innocence, and coming back to that innocence that we all carry, that's just buried, and just finding that in myself again, and just being so gentle to her, because now I know how to give her what she didn't get and what she needed at the time. And I don't believe that time is linear. We can heal our inner child today. We can go back to that space and heal those wounds as though it's happening right now. And so there were some challenging moments being without the distractions. I never thought that time had such a hold on me. That was actually the most unexpected part of the dieta, was how dependent I am on knowing what time it is, and not knowing what time it was actually, it drove me crazy for a little while there. And I kind of needed to reach that point of like almost losing it just to like get past that. And I was actually hoping that moment would come sooner in the dieta. It took a while, but every day I was like, just like, so we didn't have sun the first couple days. So that was like extra, you just never knew what time it was. And the days felt like weeks. Like I just was like, how is it still daytime? Like, why isn't it night yet? Like, you know, and trying to ration my food and my mapacho to like last the whole time. And I'm like, I don't even know what time it is. I was just literally driving myself crazy. And it was almost like needing that sense of control to make myself feel safe, because I don't feel safe without it. But I hadn't surrendered to that part of the dieta. And unfortunately, right at the end, it like kind of just, once I got over that, the losing it part, I was driving myself crazy. I was wishing my time away, and that made me upset. I started shaming myself for doing that. I was like, oh, phew, it's nighttime. Okay, that's like, we're almost there. But then the nights were long too, and I was like, there's just no relief. I was like, oh, it's nighttime. I can just fall asleep, wake up in the morning, boom, next day. And it wasn't like that. Like Bobinsana was like, no, you came here to work. You're not coming here to sleep. So I'd get these little like bits of rest. And then like I'd fall asleep, and then I'd wake up and I'm like, oh, it's still dark, and go back to sleep. And then oh, it's still dark. And like most of the time she let me go back to sleep. Sometimes no. So I just get up and be like, okay, I guess whatever. We're here to really feel into this, and there is no respite. But yeah, and so I'm grateful for that. And it was, you know, just unwinding that programming. I didn't even realize I had time programming. I didn't even know that was a thing. You know, I didn't, like, I kept calling my phone like the phantom phone, like the phantom limb. So like when someone has like an amputation, they still can feel like pain where their leg or arm or whatever once was. So they call it like a phantom limb. And I just felt like a phantom phone, because I'd be like, oh yeah, I got to check. Oh no. It was nice to have space for myself. I don't think any of us get that kind of space for ourselves, maybe ever, or since we were children. And, you know, not having other people to worry about, or not having other people to care for, and just like, you know, being stuck with yourself and what's there, and what does Bobinsana have to show me. So yeah, I got to feel into my creativity again. I blocked that for many years. I was very creative as a child. That was my outlet. I didn't run around talking all the time. I just created, and I wrote stories, and I drew pictures, and I just wrote poems, and I got to connect back to that. Because I had the space for it. I don't have space for that in my life. There's work and, you know, distractions. So yeah, I got to feel into my creativity again. I blocked that for many years. I was very creative as a child. That was my outlet. I didn't run around talking all the time. I just created, and I wrote stories, and I drew pictures, and I just wrote poems, and I got to connect back to that, because I had the space for it. I don't have space for that in my life. There's work and, you know, distractions. Have felt so called to bring my own songs out from my heart, and that was one of my intentions for this dieta. I wanted my words to come through, and my experience and my medicine through songs. Every moment of my life I have a choice. Do I stand up for what's right and use my voice? Do I act out of love or fear? Do I go, or do I just stay here? 'Cause I've been running all my life.
sorry that I lost my way. And I forgive myself each day and leave it all behind. Thank you for never giving up. I'm loving what I find. I'm loving what I find. Every moment of my life I get to choose. Do I view it all as win or lose? Do I sit here and wallow in my pain? Do I point myself towards all I have to gain? 'Cause I've been running all my life from who I truly am, and I'm sorry that I lost my way. And I forgive myself each day and leave it all behind. Thank you for never giving up. I'm loving what I find. I'm loving what I find. Every moment of my life I have a choice. Do I share my gifts and use my voice? Do I hold myself back from fate? Or do I follow my heart before it's too late? 'Cause I've been running for all my life from who I truly am, and I'm sorry that I lost my way. And I forgive myself each day and leave it all behind. Thank you for never giving up. I'm loving what I find. I'm loving what I find. And ever since I chose to just be me, my life has been so happy and so free. Connected to my open, loving heart. This life has been my greatest work of art. 'Cause I've been running all my life from who I truly am, and I'm sorry that I lost my way. And I forgive myself each day and leave it all behind. Thank you for never giving up. I'm loving what I find. And the second song I played last night was also a song that came through this week. It started off for my inner child. I believe in a world full of magic, where unicorns and dragons all roam free, where the phoenix spreads its wings and flies high in the sky, and fairies and gnomes frolic around the trees. I believe we all are made of stardust, coming from galaxies so far away. Our ancestors are celestial beings, and the shooting stars are where we used to play. Oh, we're so much more than we know. We're so much more than we know. We're so much more.
She said that she was mending my heart and mending my soul. And I saw that what I needed to heal was gentleness. When I heard that she was mending my heart and soul, I didn't fully understand what that meant. And when Colleen came to see me on the 5th day, I told her that I expressed that I was feeling a strength building inside of me and confidence. And now I know that they were pieces of my own soul coming back to me. And yeah, she pieced me back together. From trauma from childhood and abuse, I've always felt so fragmented, ruined, damaged. And I thought I would always feel that way. Even coming here, I never even considered that I could feel whole. And now I feel whole, and I feel life inside of me, and I feel love, just ready to go out into the world. Yeah, it was a miracle. And I see now that what we need to heal is the earth. We need to go to the earth to heal. Everything that they give us, it's all synthetic, and it's like a dancing show that doesn't even work, and to distract us from, it's right there. It's obvious that we need to go to the earth to heal. But I didn't fully understand or know. I didn't know the power that the earth had to heal us. And being here in silence, I just allowed myself to rest. And I slept deeply, and I took, I saw, the animals here, cats and Echo. I saw Echo just, laying in the sun outside and resting. And I'm like, yeah, we need to learn from that. We can do that too. It's okay. We can stop and just rest. At the end of the 7 days, I felt my father's energy coming around. And I know he's the one who stole from me, he took from me. And Bobinsana said to, send him love and forgive him. So I worked with that, and then the following day, he was, still coming around, and I prayed for him, and I said, I prayed that he one day can receive the healing that I received. And I heard that he wasn't really my father. He was a man masquerading as my father so that he could take from me. And I felt like the truth in that. Because a father is supposed to love and protect you, and he did the opposite. And when I knew that truth, I felt free of him. The lands were beautiful. I tried to go in the lake as much as possible, or the water, the quarry, the lake. I felt it was important to receive the healing from the earth and the water. I definitely heard that I belong in the water. And it was a joy to be here and to interact with all the wildlife and animals and insects that were around. There was so much abundance, and I told Colleen about my encounter with the deer and nodding, and I was like, oh, that was amazing. And the next day I went for a walk, and it happened again. And I was like, so much abundance, and this time the deer felt comfortable enough that he just started eating it right by me, and I was walking with him while he was eating. I was like, wow. I was so grateful that deer trusted me. And there was little frogs in the grass by the lake. You can't even see them because they're green and they're kind of camouflaged, but they were beautiful. And even, I was looking at an insect, but I was like, wow, with the little antennas, and I'm like, you're beautiful too. Yeah, I loved being here. And, I hope to be back and work with Bobinsana again. And I really saw the first night ceremony, I really wanted to learn how to work with the medicine for the collective, for humanity. Because stuff was coming up and it was too much for me, and I didn't know how to move that, and how to stay with it. And one of my intentions for last night's ceremony was to learn how to work with the medicine for the collective. And during that ceremony, the medicine showed me that my heart opened, and it just came from my heart, just going out. And I know I couldn't have done that before without Bobinsana, mending my heart. And I was seeing all kinds of things coming out from my heart, and I was seeing these things coming out and going out to the universe. I was seeing, the kind of spaceships going out into the universe, and one of them was a bird and a spaceship, and he said, "Do you want to ride?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then we went, and we were spreading light across the universe. And I kind of, at first I was unsure, and I was like, oh, nobody sees this light. But then I was like, you know what, it's so bright, someone's got to see it. Even if it's one person. I just kept going. And during the ceremony also, the medicine showed me, or told me that I was royalty. And this was something that was kind of coming up a little bit, or hinting at, in previous ceremonies, but I think in this one I was ready to hear it. And medicine was like, you're a queen, and you've been given this section of the universe to watch over, and your job is to watch over and look out for any darkness. And if there's any darkness, you're supposed to clear it. And I was like, man, that's a really important job. What if I'm not doing it, And then it's like, well, look around. This is the world. This is what happens when you're not doing that work. And then when you offered the hepe, I recalled something that medicine told me in the first ceremony. And she said, the universe was inside of me. And I realized that, it's my inner universe that I need to tend to. And it's my responsibility. It's my job to weed out that darkness. It's my job. Yeah, the ceremony last night was so joyful. I had a smile on my face most of the time, just practicing opening my heart and letting that come out, and learning to work with medicine that way. I had to be conscious of trying to let that out, and the medicine was like, in time it's just going to be open. And I'm so happy. And that's all I can think about for now. That's all. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you for sharing. Oh, there was one more thing I wanted to mention. And at the end of the dieta, I think it was the 7th or 8th day, Bobinsana, she said to me, I want to spread my love to the entire world. And that's what she wants to do. And I pray that people will come for this medicine. I was thinking, this is the real gold, the Bobinsana, and I'm amazed. I'm like, how does Colleen not have people knocking down her door for this medicine?
So I wanted to start with sharing gratitude to these lands and this medicines, and to Colleen for holding space for this work. I guess I didn't know quite why I was getting into this, but I just felt the call as soon as I heard the invitation that this is what I ought to be doing. And I feel so grateful to be here with all of you to deepen our understandings and integrations of the medicines. And thank you to Bobinsana. She came through for me in the most incredible and powerfully gentle and subtle sorts of ways. The first 3 days were pretty intense just because I was out on the lands, in the elements, and it was cold and it was windy and it was rainy, and it really kind of beat me down to nothing, but it gave me a chance to kind of clear out all that so that I could be just kind of like clean and with Bobinsana as she came through. For me, one of the biggest teachings was just dreaming, really, really powerful dreaming. I realized that I'd gotten so busy that I'd forgotten how to dream strong. Waking up and having like recollections of some of the stuff that came through while when I was asleep, but just not having clarity in the dreams coming through. And Bobinsana, along with Mapacho, helped me to bring that. There is one day where it had been cold and rainy, and I was tired of being damp and sore because I was sleeping on a rock for a bit because my hammock was soaked. And the sun came out, and I prayed with the sunrise with Mapacho, and just laid on the rock, and I felt so grateful for the warmth, and just kind of went into a bit of a nap. That's when Bobinsana really kind of like came forward with her voice to say, you've been dreaming like light speed this whole time. It's all there. It's all so fast. It's just a matter of catching it as the ripples kind of wave through. And I had been kind of sleeping and in and out of sleep quite a bit for the previous 3 days. And then it was that day when she told me, she's like, you're having like 6 to 9 dreams every time you close your eyes, and it's just a matter of having the centeredness to reach out and connect with them, because the streams are up there. And she's so gentle. It's like subtle, just kind of like feathered pink wings and ripples traveling across water, like barely even there, but so fast. And when you can slow yourself down enough to see it, the information that comes through is it's connected to the river of wisdom that we came from to begin with. A lot of stuff from like stories from where I came, both in my nuclear family and also like older traditions, I guess, helped open my eyes, because I committed to this journey to slow down and take time to be present in nature. These lands especially are so filled with life, The energies here are just absolutely incredible. Even the spaces on this land have completely different feelings, with the quartz and the still water of the quarry and the wind up the hill and the rocks, and then kind of the marshy lawn in front of the lake there. Being able to connect with that and see the magic in it and start to see what the environments around us allow us to tap into or prevent us from tapping into, to take the time to create the space that you want to be in, is a worthwhile investment, because when you take time to make those spaces, it allows extraordinary things to come through. So, taking some time to pick the right trees to tie your hammock to is worth hiking around for a bit. You'll find a better spot. Maybe you needed to connect with Cherry for a bit. A lot of my journaling was kind of haphazard, just thoughts here and there and jotting downs of dreams, and some of them felt just silly and whimsical, and other ones felt like, oh, that's really important, and then I look back at it and like, I don't think it was that important, but there's a few that I'd like to share. So here's some words. Atop the crags, blueberries whisper surprises through whispery juniper. Alighted in the lichen, pine stands strong and true, swept through many a gale, not worse for wear or weary, just ever leaning along with the wind. Earth scar, now healing, echoes possible ripples. Black flakes bloom, and the rain flushes away. After the storm, no feast of dawn break, only blessed smoke and holy sun blazes. Much thanks for the toast and the mug. In the heat I dream, mossy stone falling deep, Bobinsana, past toes now below. Earth star pulses, tiny threads set to bed. Through trapdoor emergence as the waves pound your head. To the water's edge Our Lady grows and whispers faintly, Icaros. Teach me to grow deep and low, bring back clear and true. Teach me to grow deep and low, with honor, strength, and roots. Teach me to grow deep and low, and bring back something new. I dreamt that you were a salmon, as I gutted you with my machete, filleted you in half, treasures poured from your insides, mountains of jewels and gold, and smoked you by the fire, and I was a bear, and you fed my cubs. We should learn to fish. And then one last from Beaver. Beaver called since I was young, somehow linked with sacral wound. Medicine echoes here, not loud but steady. First the skull, and then the jaw, and then the femur, and then the dam. Chaga too, of fallen brothers. Tools of curse ever growing will be the death if ever stop working. Listen, molars are labyrinth. There's no escaping consumption. What does your work yield? How to give more than to take. Put the endless teeth to use. Make us a wetland and see what medicine it brings. It was a pretty potent time for me. Stuff that I felt called to and haven't made the space or the commitment or the action to make it so. And so I'm very, very filled with thanks for this opportunity, for this container that you've created for us, for the connection. It was just so amazing to be able to hear the voice of the plants and the wind and the waves and the splashing beaver tails. And to hear it when I was miserable and in tears and enduring really unpleasant things, and knowing that the courage to persevere is within us, that we can tap into that at any time. So, thank you to all.
Everyone just left for the Bobinsana retreat. We've had everyone here for 10 days now. And not even 10 minutes after everyone's left, here we have a rainbow. Muchas, muchas gracias, Mother, Father, Creator.